asked you guys over on my community tab what mini racers I should try to put the plastic snowplow accessory on. For those of you who don't know, this was the accessory we got in the mini racers advent calendar yesterday. It's a reuse from a past year, but it's still a super fun accessory, and it's honestly really clever. It's a plastic part that plugs into the front of basically any mini racer by attaching to the holes that they all have drilled into their wheels. So you just plug it into the front wheels like this, it lines up, and now your car has a snowplow. So I asked you guys to help me test the limits and see what ridiculous cars we could try to put the snowplow on. I'm going to go through a couple of your suggestions today. NASCAR Fan 05 asked for Gail Buford. Let's see, can we get Gail? No, Gail is too short. That's really funny because this is a hauler. It's supposed to be a pretty big character. That's annoying. Cars Like Ninjago asked for Francesco. Let's see if we can get Francesco to fit. Yes! Alright, Francesco works just fine. Looks like he could be a very efficient snowplow. Actually, look at him. Oh good, he could see perfectly over that snowplow. Just his eyes popping out. That's great. Son Goku 3135 asked for one of the dinosaur cars. Well, I've brought 3 of the dinosaur cars, so let's see which one works. West Philanthropist, go! Okay, so it's hard to see on camera, but the West Philanthropist is another one that's just barely too small. You can kind of fake it for a little bit, but you can see it is hanging on there, and it's not as tight as it should be. Better than Gale, though, I guess. All right, Mecha Turbonatops. Can this one work? Okay, this one actually works much better. Very nice. And our final one for today... I had to bring the T-Rex. I just had to, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not working, but I wouldn't recommend it. Don't worry, guys. I got a lot of great suggestions, so we'll do more of these next time. Intro Ramone is a great item that I feel has been treated really unfairly by the Cars diecast line. He's the first Ramone paint job we see in Cars 3, and he's honestly kind of the main Ramone in Cars 3. He was the variant of Ramone used in the video game. Ramone's official Cars 3 character artwork is based on Intro Ramone, but the Cars diecast line has really kind of mistreated him, only ever releasing him once as part of a wave of the Radiator Springs Classic line released in 2017. A wave that was pretty hard to find. That whole line was Toys R Us exclusive, and the wave based on Cars 3 was at first thought to not even hit the US, and then it finally did in January of 2018. I was actually one of the first people to report on finding it in the US back in the day, so I was lucky enough to get that wave, but then only a few months after it released, it was announced that every Toys R Us in the US was going to be closing down, making the window to get this item and the rest of that wave really, really small. And I think it's absolutely awful that this Ramone has never been re-released since. I think it's one of the best looking Ramone diecasts of all time. The paintwork and design work are honestly a step above a lot of other Ramone diecasts out there. It's one of the main ones from one of the Cars movies, and the fact that we haven't seen it again yet is honestly insane. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another review, and to day number 16 of 25 Days of Suggestions 2024. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Intro Ramone, suggested by Not Named 02. Thank you so much for the suggestion, as always. Now, let's get started. This is such a great Ramone. I wouldn't say it's one of my personal favorite designs of Ramone, but I do think it's one of the best Ramone diecasts, just from an objective design standpoint. Now, before we take a look at him, we do have to open up today in the Mini Racers Advent Calendar. Where are you, day 16? Let's see. Guys, I feel really stupid right now. Why can't I see it? Do you think, what if the camera was just pointed at it the entire time? There we go. Right here. Looks like we got another accessory for today. Oh, it's a snowball. Okay, it's the snowball for the snowplow to push. Once again, a reused accessory, just like the snowplow itself. Let's see if we can get this out easily. All right. I mean, I do think it's pretty fun that they give you something to push with that plow piece. This piece was really annoying to get out. It's almost completely round, of course, except for a little flat part on the base here to let it sit properly. So every time I tried to pop it out, it would just turn in a different direction. I eventually had to stick the back of a pen, like a pen cap in there and push and get it out. And eventually I did, but for some reason, this isn't actually a hard plastic. It's got kind of a weird like almost weirdly sticky texture to it. And I was like, what's going on with this? And then I realized it's actually a soft plastic piece. It's not a hard plastic. You could even see the like production seam line down the middle. Yeah, so it is kind of soft and rubbery and textured, and it can be pushed by a mini racer like Francesco with his wonderful snowplow. I don't know why it isn't a hard plastic piece. I don't remember the other one being a soft plastic piece, but perhaps it's a safety precaution just in case somebody decides to use this as a weapon, like me. Go! Don't worry, I know where that landed. Anyway, let's get started taking a look at Intro Ramone here. Genuinely, like I've said several times already, one of the best looking Ramones in my opinion. Maybe I'm biased because I really, really love this shade of blue, if you couldn't already tell from the fact that my profile picture usually uses this shade of blue with the tie design. But this color looks so great on Ramone. Shocking that it took us so long to get just a regular blue Ramone. You know, we have Ghostlight Ramone, which I guess counts, but that's kind of expanded universe-ish. You know, it wasn't a short. So I'm just surprised it took until Cars 3 for us to get a regular old blue Ramone. And they did not disappoint. We have these really nice darker blue designs all over him. I really love how that looks with all of these points. When it comes to more up here, you can really see how the way Ramone is designed evolves. You know, it's quite a bit more stylized than Ramone's designs are in the first movie, with this very specific color scheme and very specific patterns. It's also a very rare occasion of a Ramone with a flat color scheme. You know, it's not a shiny blue, it's not a metallic blue, it's just this beautiful flat light blue, and it looks so good on him. I think it really looks fantastic. Great expression, but a pretty typical modern Ramone facial expression. We've got these silver parts here, of course. This is from the Radiator Springs Classic line wave that tried to kind of reinvent all the character design. So this is one of the first like Ramones to be super well detailed in this way. You know, we're really used to Ramones being updated nowadays. Pretty much every time an old Ramone comes back, they fix it to be a bit more movie accurate. And I'm so glad that's the trend they're doing, because I mean, if all the Ramones are this detailed and this good looking, come on. Ramone's already one of my favorite characters to collect, but it makes him look even better. Another detail that makes this Ramone even better are the white wall tires, a really nice visual choice. Ramone's other designs don't have white walls, so I love that for this one they decided to add that as kind of a special touch to help make the paint job stand out even more. Moving on to the rest of the side, you can see these stripe designs. I don't really like how the side of this Ramone looks that much. It's just really thin stripes. Maybe they could have done a bit more. I like areas like this where the darker blue color kind of peeks through a bit more. I think you could definitely done this more segmented design on him with little patches of light blue and parts of dark blue a bit more. For now, it just kind of looks like, for now, as if they're going to change it. As it stands, I think it just kind of looks like a bunch of dark blue stripes. So it still looks really nice. Back looks pretty nice as well, of course. And we also have his Low and Slow license plate. Ramone actually has fully covered windows, so you can't see the little Radiator Spring sign in his back window. That's usually supposed to be there, which is interesting because they usually go out of their way to do that. But I think those gray windows helps this Ramone look even better. There's a look at the other side, and finally there is a look at the base, complete, of course, with the Chevrolet trademark down there. Honestly, I've said it before in this review, I'll say it again. One of the best looking Ramones. It just looks so clean and so nice. And I think it's really unfair that a Ramone that's this significant to the Cars trilogy doesn't have a re-release or a Thailand variant. He does have a color changer, but the color changer is pretty different. It has the same decals, of course, but the light blue is much lighter than the movie, and the other color is, of course, a purple. So I really think this Ramone desperately needs a comeback for collectors who didn't get him the first time around. It's such a great looking item, and I'm sure Thailand would knock it out of the park. At the beginning of this review, I said it's one of the best Ramones, but not one of my personal favorites. I'm going to change my mind and say, not only is this one of the best Ramones, I think it's one of my personal favorites. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.